dive right into it. So in this video, there was actually a subject being discussed in a group of people. I'm not going to get into the logistics regarding like the meeting of the people or anything, but theme of complacency. And it's very interesting because where I'm at in life right now, I'm so like attuned to what it is that I need to do in order to accomplish what it is that I'm trying to create and everything. And it's just interesting that the theme of complacency came up. And interestingly enough, my sweetheart, she ended up asking what it was that like we were talking about and everything. And I filled her in and stuff, and I kind of was more on like the metaphorical side of trying to express or explain complacency because I guess that was a concept that was new to her. And so like it's very interesting because I want to talk about this idea of threshold, right? You have the capacity to go this far, right? And you get there, right? And there's something required at this point to get you beyond there. And that has to do with complacency, that has to do with motivation, that has to do with threshold, that has to do with drive, that has to do with, pushing past everything. Everything that's in here that's like telling you, okay, it's time to slow down. Maybe there's not enough dopamine involved, right? It's easy to just go sit down and watch Netflix, all of that kind of stuff. And that's very relevant at this point in the journey because, like, it's important to remember that whenever you're pursuing anything, regardless of what it is, like you could find out that like in the beginning, okay, you really wanted it, and then there's something around this point that really challenges the narrative that suggested to you that you really want it, but then you break past that point that's trying to hold you back. This does not want to change. You might be motivated and then it kind of just like you plateau, right? And breaking past that point of plateauing or having the capacity to be able to do so is what's important. That's what gets you to continue to move and just keep pursuing and pushing and being consistent. It's interesting because there's something that I'm pursuing that I've never pursued before, and the way that I'm experiencing it, I'm not going to get into the logistics of what it is, but I'm pursuing something that I've never pursued before, and it's just interesting because I was on the phone with a guy earlier, and like he was like talking to me about it and everything, and he was like, whatever you do, don't give up. And like I talk to other people as well, and it's really interesting that I got that. That I got on the phone and had that conversation with that guy because, in terms of complacency, in terms of the pursuit of anything, you're going to have pushback. That's just the way that it is. You're going to have pushback, so you're going to have to be ready for, it's not going to be easy. And if it is easy, I don't think it's worth it, honestly. I mean, just that wouldn't make sense to me. The pursuit of something being easy and being worth it at the same time, that doesn't make sense to me because I feel like there has to be challenge involved in order to grow, right? Like, for instance, like how much patience do you have to pursue this process or to like go through everything and like, come out on the other side and acquire what it is that you were after, right? Do you have the patience? If you don't have the patience, what's necessary to obtain the patience? If what's necessary to obtain the patience is to perform, X, Y, and Z, right? If what's necessary to acquire that level of patience is to do that, are you willing to do that? And of course, that in and of itself requires patience. This all comes back to delaying gratification. If you have the capacity to delay gratification, you'll go very far in life. It's kind of like, don't eat the marshmallow, right? If you don't eat the marshmallow, you get 2 marshmallows, right? So, yeah, I was explaining this idea of complacency to my sweetheart yesterday. And I just thought it was very interesting because, like, there are times that I look at my own life and I'm like, am I getting complacent? And it's very possible that that's the case. What are the reasons for that? Okay, maybe I'm not as motivated as I was when I started. Okay, well, why are you not motivated? Or why are you not as motivated as you were when you started? Oh, because X, Y, and Z is happening. Because this happened and it affected my mood and everything. Okay, so mood balance is required, right? Generating elevated emotions is required on a daily basis. You can do that through meditation, right? So, like, looking at these different things, like plateauing, complacency is potentially going to, it's going to be there. It's potentially going to exist. And knowing how to combat it is what's 100% necessary. But yeah, you got to understand that what you want over the long term is what's greater than what you're feeling right now. And if you give into what you're feeling right now, your brain might be very used to massive dopamine hits through, I don't know, scrolling on social media mindlessly, or just sitting down after work or whenever and just watching Netflix. Your life gets better when you do the hard shit. It does. That's just the way that it is. Doing the easy thing has never brought great things. It just makes you comfortable, and it just makes you believe in a narrative that's not true. And that narrative is someday. It'll happen someday. And that's why it's very important to understand that, nobody's coming. Everything is on the player. Whatever it is that you're after, there are going to be setbacks. Like, say, for instance, you end up having an experience with someone and you're like, wow, that was really fucking draining. Who knows how much time it took out of your day, right? But then being able to turn back around and like recentering and everything, and just like coming back to you, and even sitting down and just like remembering, like, you're here, you're good, everything's fine, things are good. You probably have a support system in your life. You probably have people that care about you, that are willing to, very large extents, support you and everything, do things that are required for you. And this actually goes this actually goes back to what I was talking about yesterday in my video. Was it yesterday? I believe that it was yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. The mind is a very dramatic place. It makes a bigger deal out of everything than is necessary. So like, I don't know. You might hear a sense of discouragement from someone, right? You might hear a sense of rejection from someone. Again, it's just their shit. That's all. Just see it for what it is, be able to read it clearly and stuff, and then go from there. But not stopping. No, no one's gonna, basically what I'm trying to say is that you're good. Like nothing can, if you don't let anyone stop you, no one's going to stop you. The only way to let anyone stop you is to be scared by what people have to say. But the way that you not get scared by what people have to say is that you just realize that everything that they say to you is a reflection of how they feel about themselves, right? So like, if you're on a pursuit of something specifically, and someone comes to you and they're like, hey, listen, I really don't think this is a good idea for this, that, and the other reason, X, Y, Z, right? Just understand that there's like almost 100% chance that they're just trying to give you their shit, their experiences, their insecurities. It has nothing to do with you. You can fucking run like a bullet train. No one is stopping you. Nothing's stopping you. Words are just words. People are just people. We're all just people. We all have the capacity to create whatever we want to. What we choose to do with our 24 hours in the day is entirely on us. If we choose it in comfort, we get comfort and more of it. And what I would argue to be, I don't know, complacency. If we choose drive and, a conscious spending of time and energy, being very serious with how you spend every second, being very serious with your pursuits and your endeavors forward. You know, like if you at least have an idea in mind of what it is that you're looking to create, you're on a good path. And just, you know, like people are going to try to take your attention, your energy, your awareness, and everything. They're going to take it over there. They're going to take it over there. They're going to take it up there. You know, like just like nope. I'm bringing myself back to me, and that's it. Just regrounding. I think that complacency. First, you got to bring all of your energy back to yourself. Don't even try to get anybody on board because it doesn't. I mean, yes, I understand agreements and stuff with other people, but just do you. Just put that first. Go after what it is that you want, and just keep going. You know, and I do believe that it's important. By the way, there's this idea of, you know, like, just keep going. Yeah, just keep going, of course, but also take some time and reflect and figure out if what you're doing is, you know, is actually beneficial. Is there a way that you could make the process more productive, more effective, even easier, right? Like maybe something is really hard, and it doesn't, and it's not, you know, 1900s anymore. It's 2022. Maybe something that you're doing is very hard. Maybe there's an easier way to do it. Maybe somebody else knows it and they can help you. So just like remembering to reach out and everything, you don't have to do everything by yourself. In the beginning, it makes sense if you do, just because, you know, that happens. People tend to go about things that way. But just like, it's just going the distance is what's important. And that's all. That's all. If you get complacent, it's okay. Bring yourself back. If you get distracted, it's okay. Bring yourself back. You know, choose what you want to put your time into. Choose what you want to put your energy into, and just go from there.